Before we go into the game itself, I want to draw attention to the options screen. This game has an option for anything that affects gameplay basically, and you can mix and match as you see fit within the set limitations, obviously. But if there's something that you don't particularly like, you can make it easier, you can disable it, you can alter how many lives you have, how often power-ups spawn, how difficult the game is, all that good stuff. Obviously an option screen that's been designed by people who themselves were gamers, are gamers, whatever, and they have a very good idea of what the player may find frustrating or not frustrating, and yeah, even down to being able to switch between joystick or joypad, which is not something that a lot of other games actually offered you. So on that front, I have absolutely no complaints. Well thought out and yeah, brilliantly done. But onto the proper commentary. Hello and welcome to a look at XP8, a game from 1996 by Weathermine Software. When Commodore went bankrupt, most of the established software developers turned their backs on the Amiga almost immediately. Some of them kept going for a bit, but the majority abandoned the system. Of course, the Amiga was in limbo for quite a while before it eventually got acquired, and the people acquiring it didn't know what to do with it, so it was reacquired and whatever. That is a subject matter for a different video, which I will be making at one point or another. But suffice to say, by 1995-96, the Amiga's software database was only being increased by independent developers like Weathermine Software. I kept the intro in the video so you can see for yourself what the background for this vertically scrolling shoot 'em up is. And as you can probably see for yourself, it is a vertically scrolling shoot 'em up like so many others. You have multiple different weapon systems and power-ups available, and I will shortly be showcasing the different weapon systems because there are 4 main weapon systems, but in truth I only found 2 of them to be remotely useful. You also have other things like invulnerability, smart bombs, and health restore, shield restore I should say, and you can even from time to time be lucky enough to get an extra life. Using the default options, if you get an upgrade pod or thing, if you shoot at it, it will change to one of 4 different weapon systems, and each have their own individual power level. You don't lose any of the weapons if you pick up another weapon. You can cycle through them or select them as you see fit. I don't know if that changes for later levels, but on the first level I specifically found that you need heavy frontal firepower in order to deal with the different enemies and objects being thrown at you, and some of the weapon systems just did not have enough frontal punch to actually make beating the level even remotely possible. Let's go over the screen interface. Top left corner, you should probably gather from the mission text, there's an objective. The top left number is how many of those objectives you have to destroy. Next to that you have your current level's power weapon and an icon signifying the weapon type. So right of that your score, so right of that the number of your shields, which is effectively your lives, and the shield power meter itself. Further to the right you have a percentage regression indicator that indicates how far along you are in the level. The Postmaster Screen is identical, that is for a second player, and apparently I didn't have a chance to test that myself. If you play 2 players, you can actually morph into one craft. But, as I said, never got to test it. When it comes to the graphics of this game, there's no denying that the quality of the graphics is quite high. But on a personal note, and this is on me alone, I'm not the greatest fan of the style of graphics. There's probably a lot of people that will think that the graphics is absolutely amazing, and as I said, I will not deny the quality of it, but that sort of metallic look kind of thing, it's not for me. I am not a great fan of it at all. The sound design, the only music there is in the game is the title screen, and the music is a bit dark and brooding. If you like that kind of music, that's perfectly fine, of course. I could take it or leave it. I didn't particularly mind it either way. The quality is good, but I think the soundtrack would need a bit more excitement to set you up for a game of this type. The sound effects, they are of a good quality, but perhaps could have been a bit more dramatic, a bit more meaty and rewarding. But I have, in general, no complaints about them. I don't mind them. I don't think they are super exciting, but they serve the purpose they have, which is to inform you when you shoot, when you hit stuff, when you get blown up, all that good stuff. So, gameplay. The biggest issue with this game is the fact that this type of game has been seen so many times before this. Which is a bit mean, I suppose, but at the same time, vertically scrolling shoot 'em ups is a type of game that you most likely will love or not love, and that's basically it. And if you love them, you probably mainly want to just kick back and have a good time. And while this game definitely gives you a decent gameplay experience, it's not something that you couldn't get elsewhere. I recently covered Hypers on the Amiga on my channel, and while that is a vertically scrolling shoot 'em up as well, I consider it to be one of the best, if not the single best, vertically scrolling shoot 'em up made for the Amiga. And having played this game, that statement still stands. This game doesn't offer you anything you haven't seen before. The weapon power is a bit lackluster. Getting upgrades doesn't feel like you're becoming more powerful, it feels more like you're becoming less crippled. The upgrades, they are mostly predictable where you get them from. There are certain enemies that you can destroy that will drop the upgrades when you kill them, destroy them, whatever. but you are not necessarily given a weapon upgrade. It may as well be a utility upgrade, or in rare cases, an extra life. More than once during the making of this video, I experienced being 40% into level 1 without getting a single weapon upgrade. Considering the fact that your base default weapon system is a glorified water cannon, that wasn't very enjoyable. For the purpose of making this video, I insisted on beating level 1, and to that end I ended up changing one option in the options menu, and that was to increase the drop rates or spawn rate of upgrades. It didn't make as much of a difference as I perhaps was expecting it to, but it made enough of a difference so I could actually beat this level. The options menu is there for a reason, and I showcased it for a reason, and that is because you can tailor-make this game to your liking, because the default options are probably a bit harsh for a lot of people. Overall though, the game is not bad, but I was hoping for spectacular, and it just isn't. Sad, but true. On that note, thanks for watching, take care, and see you next time. Bye bye for now.